Burnout, a peculiar health condition. Some say it has 3 stages, others say it has 5. Let's break this down into 3: alarm, resistance, and exhaustion stages. Alarm stage is when you start to notice warning signs you have been under stress for too long. You experience one stressful event after another, often asking yourself, when will this end? You might start to neglect your needs and personal activities. Productivity starts to decline. These are signs you are in the early stages of burnout. I've had clients say, Deidre, I can't focus anymore. I'm not sleeping. This is beyond feeling tired because you didn't get enough sleep one night. It is a state of constant exhaustion. You might notice that what fills you up starts to get cut out of your life. For me, it was when I stopped getting up early to work out or spend time doing my devotions. The resistance stage happens if you continue working under stress without making changes, where your symptoms are prolonged and unresolved. You notice changes in your mood. You notice you're getting easily frustrated, apathetic, feeling overworked, overburdened, and maybe you're fatigued all day. You get sick more frequently than usual. This stage often leads to unhealthy coping skills, such as drinking, sleeping too much or too little, isolating from others, and unhealthy food choices. Have you ever been asked, why are you so irritable? Or, you seem distant today. Often people around us notice something is off before we do. That's why recognizing your signs and having the self-awareness to know when something has shifted. For me, it was when my morning routine for working out and devotional time stopped happening. I felt like I had to try and sleep if I was not at work, which I was a lot. It impacts how you make decisions. You start to get fast food instead of cooking because it requires planning, shopping, and preparing. It impacts interactions with family, friends, and colleagues. I was so burnt out, I cussed at my supervisor and said I didn't care. Definitely not my finest moment as a program manager. Not something I recommend, but burnout changes how you communicate with others or whether you even want to socialize. Many people will start to turn down invites to social events. Remember, when burnout is starting to affect your life, you are functioning out of your survival brain, that fight, flight, or freeze mode. So let's work to change this. The exhaustion stage occurs when burnout starts to become the norm for your body. It becomes the default in life. You start to think, this is normal and there's nothing to be done to change it. Maybe you're physically and emotionally exhausted from the time you wake up, feeling depleted of resources, ineffective, losing your sense of personal accomplishment, or disengaging during the day. You might start to experience chronic pain or develop a chronic disease. I did. After my 3rd episode with burnout, I developed arthritis in my mid-30s. My blood sugar was borderline diabetes, and my doctor said he can't help me if I didn't make a change to my stress level. Too much time functioning in burnout, your health will start to take a turn for the worse. Studies show that 6 of the 10 leading causes of death have an emotional stress component that contributes. Because your body is putting all its resources into getting you through the stressful time, fight or flight mode, it stops putting resources on normal functions like digesting food. When this happens, you are more susceptible to heart disease, cancer, getting into accidents, developing cirrhosis, and getting sick more often. Because of functioning in survival mode and possibly relying on unhealthy coping mechanisms, some people even contemplate suicide. I had so much inflammation in my body and was so exhausted that I could hardly stand for more than 10 minutes at a time. I couldn't walk more than 200 feet without a lot of pain. Burnout took a toll on my body. Recovery is possible. I currently work almost as many hours as I used to, but I feel great. I can go for 2-mile walks and stand for long periods of time. I have very little inflammation in my body and rarely notice the arthritis in my joints. So how do you tell which stage you are in? Alarm stage signs, feeling stressed frequently. This could be a couple days or a week or daily. You feel tired and fatigued. You're less productive at work due to inability to concentrate. And at home, you put off doing the laundry for an extra couple of days. The resistance stage, difficulty getting quality sleep. You're a little more irritable with family throughout the day, or you're starting to not want to make decisions. Even, what's for dinner? Are you changing any parts of your routine because you think you just don't have the energy? And the exhaustion stage. Remember, you start to wonder, what is the point of what you're doing? You don't care anymore what happens, or you avoid socializing and physical health issues start to surface, wondering why joints hurt that used to never be an issue. You might be thinking, great, I'm going to struggle for the rest of my life. Friend, you don't have to. I'm sharing this because I don't want to see anyone get to the point I was at, where I could barely function. You can take back control, get out of burnout, and prevent burnout altogether. If you are in the late stage of burnout, you are feeling exhausted, run down, not sleeping, not making decisions, and you don't care what happens at work, it's time to make a change. At this point, I would encourage you to speak with your healthcare provider. Possibly consider taking time off to get an extended break from work and seek support, or schedule a coffee chat and let's talk about it. I'll walk you through the process. But you can start with one small doable change.